fundamental of you being a political activist. So in Malaysia, I'm talking about Malaysia, and this has nothing to do with Singapore. Okay. In Malaysia, our goal is to overthrow the corrupt Barisan Nasional and install a new government. This is the fact. Everybody say the government is corrupt. The government is corrupt, and we want to replace the government. But what can we do? You see? So ordinary people have this thinking, have this ambition, right? And this is their goal. They want to overthrow the government and want a better government. And what they can actually do is to educate the voters based on facts and figures so that we will have a better quality of life. You understand me? We are hoping that the Pakaran Rakyat will overthrow the current government and come up with new policies to increase our quality of life. It's a non-fact, then everybody actually have this goal, but maybe it's not in a structured way, maybe you talk over coffee, but basically this is a goal. So if you want to be a political activist, if you want to be active online, you must know that your goal is to make the government lose in the election. You understand me or not? If you don't make the government lose in the election, then your life is still the same. You understand? Because the same people, okay? In the first place, if the government is that good, right, why would you want to go even go after the government? The fact that because they are corrupt, they have certain, they control certain tools or certain process, right, that bullies the citizens or control you in many ways, that is the reason why you want to replace the government, right? Of course, the people say, hey, let's work with the government and engage the government, okay? Yes, but the thing is, your impact will probably like 10% or 5%. Because I have done that, you see. I was in the government, I have done that, engage the government, work with them. It won't work. You have to replace the government with another alternative. Okay, having said that, okay, this is where I want to use some normal terms you can understand. You see, when you go online, right, you're actually going on a war. Okay, somebody is going to get hurt, and you think, early morning, the guy was mentioning. You thought the real world is very simple. You follow the laws, then nothing happened. But you know what's going to happen? Okay, if you become someone popular, the government want to get rid of you, regardless of whether you are somebody or not. Whether you follow whether you follow a law or not, they will still go after you. You know how they do it? Okay, they're going to catch you. They're going to hire somebody and plant some of these seditious statements in your blog and say, hey, you go into government. But what actually, in the case of Malaysia, for example, Raja Petra, right? They catch him first, then only find the evidence to nab him. You understand? You understand? It's not that they scan the whole thing and nothing wrong. They say, hey, what can I do to nab this person? Because this person is going to be trapped to the government. This is the question they're asking. And what they do, they maybe hire some cyber troopers. At that time, the UMNO people have some cyber troopers. So they hire them, they go into some of this blog and put there, and put some fake message, then makes you look bad. So that's why you moderate. Sometimes you moderate, not only moderate to prevent the government catching you, but also moderate to prevent the government from entering your comments and put some of these fake messages. And this is real thing, because you could be very naive and say, hey, things are law, but this is politics. Okay, politics always dirty, right? And you have to accept that it's a part of life. Okay, you are in the area of political arena. It's politics. So many things will really happen that you couldn't even believe it. Okay, now, this my later talk, I will talk about, you being a blogger, you have your own identity, right? Maybe probably a photograph. Then you need to know certain strategies can be used. Okay, but what if, what if you're a nobody, you're a housewife, right? Then you want to be involved in this whole online activism. What can you do? Okay, there are many things you can do, right? It's not necessarily you have to go to the conventional way, which I call it the samurai way, you take a big sword to come and say, hey, I have a big sword, everybody knows you, then you take a sword and it's chop. But if you are little people, right, small people, right, and you couldn't afford, most people, right, I train, they are ordinary people like you and me, okay, we couldn't, you see, we couldn't get, probably our salary is just nice, to cover our 1 month, okay, and maybe a bit of expenses. But if anything happened to our livelihood, right, then how? We'd be dead, man. So we could not afford to be sacked. We could not afford to be arrested. And the list goes on. Then you ask your question, despite, given this fact that, I have a lot of obstacles, what little thing I can do? You understand? So you ask this question, what little thing I can do? So there are certain things you can do, and what are the ways that you can employ to prevent yourself from being detected and so on, right? And of course, some of this strategy is very simple. Okay, the first strategy everybody knows is to use an anonymous name. In fact, this is the strategy I used when I was firstly online. And the thing is, I went to a lot of forums, right? I used a lot of anonymous blog names, and I also use the multiple names. So when I use multiple names and multiple identity, then it's very difficult for people to track me. Okay. And another thing is when you use cyber cafe, don't always go to the same cyber cafe. Try to change various view and use different time so that people won't track a pattern. You understand? So you want to use anonymous also, right? There's a simple advice here. Use multiple identity, use different cyber cafe, and the way you write also make sure you write also different style. Don't always write the same style. People know it must be this person. So once you have use anonymous name, different identity, different writing style, and different locations, then the government, I can guarantee you, the government is finding it very difficult to track it down. Okay. But even there's a cyber cafe that requires you to register. Who says you must use the real name and register? Correct. Why must you use the real name and register? Because most of the time, the cyber cafe people, they're very sloppy. They won't really check. You just use some fake name to register, and you check where are video, where are locations. So these are simple things, common sense. Okay, common sense. I don't need to tell you all, but why I mentioned because it's a reminder, because you do not want to be caught, right? So this is a simple thing. Look around, don't use your name in cyber cafe that you can use. Okay. Okay, then there are certain things. Okay. Okay. The second thing is this is more technical thing. You can if you know a technology, there are certain words you can actually hijack. Meta keywords like when people use the word, say for example, magic, it will link to certain words. So you quickly hijack this word. People key in magic, then you go to a certain area. You understand what I mean? Or you can push a certain website. So these are the things you use. I mean, it won't be so difficult if you know the knowledge. Then the thing is, intimidate pro-government bloggers. Is it very easy? Is it very easy? So you go and look out who are these bloggers, pro-government bloggers, then go intimidate them. Go leave some comments. You make them feel uneasy. Then they feel you better close on my side. Because this is what the government going to do towards you. So before they do, you go and look for those pro-government websites, you do the same thing. Maybe you get a group of friends, 5 people, and sit down over a coffee and say, hey, why not you attack this side? You say this thing, I say this thing. So sometimes they also get fed up, So unless, of course, they get a filter or delete or disable the comments, then it's a different thing. So, I'm assuming that their comments are still open. Okay, then, Wikipedia, Wikipedia, if you key in the word site, for example, in Malaysia, if I key in like magic, it goes to an article, right? So there's a power struggle in Wikipedia. Do you know that? Do you know? Okay. It means who defines what? So there's a power struggle. So you need to join there, Every time someone write good thing about this person, then you change it. But of course, when you change it, you don't be you don't be obvious. You need to be very subtle. This is an editorial skill. You need to write very subtle, so it's hidden. For example, you want to highlight someone's corruption cases, and you see this article. There's no list of the corruption cases. Just put that. Let the people know. You know why not? You may think that you know about this person well, but you must know there's a new voters now. They don't know anything. They don't know anything at all. So they go read if the mainstream media say it's good, right? So but now when they go to search engine, they click, it goes to this Wikipedia. Most of the time like that, then they go there, they find, this person, this is the good thing, this is the bad thing. Now they have more balanced view. Am I right? Because if you don't do that, right? So you can say, controversial by this leader, controversies by this leader. Then, because controversy is a neutral word. It's fair, right? It's actually controversy. But the idea is, before this, that article do not have this section of controversy. Then people don't know this. They think this is an angel.